So remember, a circle has a nice little round part here. What? Okay. I'm in the middle of teaching, bro. Okay, sit down. Okay. Alright, so we have a circle here. What do we call when we go from the center? Also, hey. Like, sure. Alright, from the center, also just admire how good my circle is. It's really good. We're going to go from the middle to the outside. What do we call that segment that goes from the middle of a circle to the outside of the circle? Close. Radius. Diameter goes edge to edge. So we're looking for that radius, this R. Shh. Hey, guys. Okay, Lane, you need these notes. Okay, Okali, you also need these notes. Okay, that's okay. Just draw your best one. Alright, so we have A equals, area is equal to, it goes pi r squared. R squared, R would be if we had just a square that was 1 by 1. So it's like we have 3 squares here that would fill up that area. A little bit more than 3 with that pi. Alright, so pi r squared, R stands for what again? Radius. Alright, today we're also going to be doing circle sectors. Hey, you guys, what is happening that is so important right now? Okay, get refocused here. Alright, circle sector, what does that word sector mean? What? Cutting through something, yeah. So it's part of a circle. It's like cutting out part of a circle. Like a bisector, you're right. Nice job. Alright, so circle sector is just part of a circle. So again, I'm going to draw a circle here. Dang, my circles are so good right now. So impressed.
Yeah, I don't want to be so
Alright, so as we take a look at this circle, we have, it's going to be cutting out part of it. So it's going to go to the center, and then it'll cut out a certain amount. Alright, this is the part I'm going to use yellow for, is I'm going to shade in the part that we're trying to find. So if I'm trying to find this part of the circle that we're cutting out, originally the formula is A equals pi r squared, but now I don't want the whole circle, I just want part of the circle. What's something that we know about every circle? It equals 360, yeah. So we're going to use that degree, x, whatever that angle is, and we're going to say we're not doing the whole 360, we're doing the x out of 360, and that will give us that section, but then we still have to multiply it by pi r squared, where that r is still that radius. Alright, we have 4 examples today. It shouldn't take us too long. First 2 should be super simple. Okay, go ahead and just glue it in either on the left or on the right side. Do you guys all know Miss Glenn?
No.
I definitely didn't.
Is that why you're so good at math? Is it because of last year?
I didn't.
You did.
I also didn't. No, I have like a 98.
Yeah. Somewhere there. Alright, so go ahead and get this glued in either on the left or the right side. class is unsafe. Just letting you know. It is. Yeah. Okay, what of your man? We are not doing notes.
I'm not ready.
No, he's not helping you.
Mister, I lost my book.
Oh, do you need a new book? I can get you one. Okay. Perfect. Right here, you can't say you're gonna go get breakfast and then come back without breakfast. Alright, get that glued in. We're gonna start in about 45 seconds here. Stay to one minute.
Are you okay?
Alright.
Okay. You just had to tell me that. Is that why you haven't been taking notes for a while? You're crazy. Alright, here we go. So on this first one, our formula is A equals pi r squared. All we need to know is the r, the radius. So in that parentheses, we're going to put the radius. In this circle, is this 2.9 representing the radius?
Yes.
Yes, it goes from center to edge, so that is our radius. So we're going to put 2.9 into that blank. And then we throw that into our handy dandy Desmos. Which I totally have open because I'm a prepared teacher. I know what's happening in my life. Alright, so we're doing pi. Now, and remember in Desmos there's an actual pi button. It's next to the 4. We're actually going to be using that pi button because pi is an irrational number. It goes on forever and ever and ever. Never ends, never repeats. I don't know. It depends on what the number is. So it's 2.9 squared. We're going to round to the nearest tenth, so just one decimal. So is that going to be 26.4 or 26.5? Good. What number tells me to stay the same? Good. The second one, the 2. Good. Okay, 26.4. And don't forget your label, which is really important. This time we're labeling in not just yards, square yards. Nice. All right, next one. Same idea. We're doing A equals pi r squared. It's the whole circle. Okay, so good. I'm hearing things that are really good here. I see 14 is on the circle. Is 14 representing our radius? No, what do we call that again? That one goes edge to edge. Diameter. So that's our diameter. So that's not what we want. So we want the radius. How do I go from diameter to radius? Divide by 2. If you need to write that off to the side here, that we're doing 14 divided by 2. Sorry. You can write that. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So this is 7 here. Okay, throw that into your calculator. I already have it typed in, so I'm just going to delete that 2.9. Make that a 7. I get 153.9. Now with that 3, do I want to stay at 153.9 or would it actually round up to 154? What's after the 9 again? The 3, so 0.9. The 3 tells us to stay at the 9. If it was above a 5 here after the 3, then it would be 154. That one's kind of a tricky one. Hi, guys. So 153.9 square centimeters. Good. All right, last one like this, and then we do have a composite figure there at the bottom. Those of you that maybe have looked ahead. Okay, this one, this time, this is not a full circle. This is going to be our circle sector. So if you want to shade in, we're finding that bolded area. So if you want to shade that in, saying this is what we're trying to find, you can. You could also just lightly shade it in with your pencil, just make sure you can still see the numbers inside. But we're only finding this amount of the circle. We're not doing the whole circle area. All right, so because we're doing a circle sector, we're not going to use the whole formula pi r squared. We're only going to use a part of it. How much of the circle are we finding? 135 degrees out of how many degrees total? 360. We could have made that like into a percent, like it's 5%, 10%, 15%. I think it's like close to 30%. But we can just write it as a fraction also. So 135 out of 360. And then times the whole circle formula, the pi r squared. So pi times, what is our radius this time? 12, yeah. It's really nice this one, they give us that radius, so we don't have to do that extra work. Biggest mistake I see here that students are making is they're just seeing a number on the circle and plugging it in, like with this last one. This last one, you do have to do a little bit of work. So sometimes just reiterating that in your brain, always looking for radius, half. Okay, we throw that in the calculator. 135 out of 360. Make sure you always hit the next button off to the side, times pi times 12 squared. All right, we get 169.6 or 169.7. Yep, 0.6. And it's square inches. I didn't see the label. I thought we were going to have to say units. All right, last one here. This one is going to be a composite figure. So if you want to label it, you can. Composite figure. So we talked about composite figures in 11.1b. So in this composite figure here, we have to decide what kind of shapes are we working with. So what shapes do you see are in this composite figure? Good, there's a rectangle. And what else? Whoa, look at that beautiful vocabulary. Semicircle. That's so nice that you gave credit to where you said it, but Joey said it first. So nice. So we do have a semicircle, half of a circle here. So we need to, and then are we going to add those together? Are we adding on half a circle, or are we cutting that circle out? How did you know we're cutting it out? Good, the dashed line means that it's not actually there. So we're following that solid line. Hi, guys. Okay. Hey, you can't just come into class and start complaining. All right. So for this, we have a rectangle. So I'm going to show my work as my rectangle work, and then I'm going to do my semicircle work. Okay, so for the rectangle is, our formula is A equals what? B base times height. Good. So in this problem, what is our base and our height for the overall rectangle? Good, 14 and 20. Good. Okay. What? A book? Okay. We're like literally on just stop talking for like the last like 30 seconds here. We're almost done. And I'll get you one. All right, 20 times 14 is a handy dandy 280. Okay, so our rectangle is 280. Now we're going to find the semicircle. There's two ways to do semicircle. Either we can think of it as a circle sector. How many degrees is a circle sector? Or how many degrees would be a semicircle? 180. Or we can just find the whole circle and then divide by 2. Yeah, we're splitting it in half. Either way, I like to do the whole circle and then just divide by 2 at the end. That's the way my brain works. All right, so pi times, now we need the radius squared. Why 7? Good, 14 goes from the outside to the outside here. We want to go from edge to the middle, so we just want the 7. Okay, if it helps to grab a colored pencil here or just your own, and you need to draw in the rest of that circle to kind of see that that circle is there, you can. And then again, we're just looking for half. So half is 7. Which we already did that, which is really nice. We did that back up in example 2, and our answer was 153.9. But now we want the semicircle. So for the semicircle, for half, what are we going to do? Divide by 2. So 153.9 divided by 2. Now here's a little bit that's a little goofy, is depending on how you type it into your calculator, if you rounded it already, if I type in 153.9 divided by 2, my answer is going to be 76.95. But if I had hit this button down here that says A and S, that takes this whole answer, and then divided by 2, I get 76.96. So, I mean, they're kind of similar, a little bit different. So it just depends on if you're rounding sooner or later. You might get a little bit different answers, but not too much. So 76.96 or 76.95, what would that actually round to? 77. Good. For rounding to the nearest tenth, that would round to 77. Okay, so for our total area, though, we're not done yet, bruh. We gotta do the composite part, put it together. So again, what are we doing with these amounts? Are we adding on that half circle, or are we cutting it out? Cutting it out. So are we gonna add or subtract? Subtract. So we're gonna take the rectangle, the 280, and we're gonna subtract that 77. Yep, 203. Square inches. Pretty straightforward. Okay, your practice today is only 5 problems. It's a lot of drop-down menus because of the rounding. So if you have questions, please ask. I did update grades yesterday, so everything should be updated as of after school yesterday. I'm going to give people a second to finish this part, and then I can move it up.